Now, having said that, time to tell our stories. So, if unless you've been living under a rock, and I really kind of commented on this over the weekend for a full broadcast of the Narrative Podcast. This is a live edition, but I touched on it. Carlee Russell. I didn't have the knowledge back then. I just assumed that she was not telling the truth because they kept on, coming out with receipts that she could be lying. And lo and behold, I kind of predicted the future. She was not telling the truth. But also having said that, I don't tear down, I don't bash. On my platform, I don't try to drag our people through the mud because we get attacked from all sides. So when I say something, I'm coming from the perspective usually of why. Why do we do that? Why do we engage in that type of behavior? And so the why that I unpacked when I heard about the Carlee Russell story was, the age, the era that we're currently living in is the age of the clout chaser. And this doesn't stop in our community by no stretch. We're living in the digital age where we are using our platforms to reward foolishness. People acting a damn fool on the internet just for attention. Cause have you ever, we got a plethora of untalented people out there. You're wondering why certain actors, certain comedians, certain musicians, dancers, well, that person really can't dance. That person really can't sing. That person really can't, rap. Why they getting all this shine? Why they getting all publicity? Not because they grinded it out, not because they put the work in, the cliche, I'm doing air quotes, because they did the work. It's not because they did the work. It's because they used their platform to act a damn fool, and the powers that be rewarded it for it. They gave them the booby prize. They gave them the bag. Because they sit up there and show their ass in public. I try not to curse on my platform, but when it applies, it applies. When they acted really stupid, they said something dumb, they did something dumb, and they're riding the wave. Carlee Russell was no different. She's a sister. Unfortunately, somebody got in her ear. She came up with the notion I'm going to fake my own abduction. I'm about to blow up. Because she had it all planned in her mind, I'm assuming. And which is unfortunate because that takes away from our sisters. There's sisters out there, over $10,000, 20,000 sisters who have been human trafficked right here in the United States, just vanished, gone without a trace. And she's sitting up there faking her own abduction. Taken away from that experience. There's sisters out here really done got abducted, really are lost. Their families don't know where they are. And this sister done faked her own death. But, like I said, I'm not going to drag the sister through the mud because what I'm not going to do is allow people on the internet to, say she's the most, selfish person ever, that she's the biggest liar ever. I'm not going to allow people to say she's just the worst ever. Like, when it's people like Monica Lewinsky, like, look at all the publicity she got. She showed her mother, her mom, the woman that brought her into this world, the president of the United States at the time, semen stains on her dress. And she was proud to the world. She was not ashamed of being the president's mistress. She was proud to give him fellatio in the White House. And what did we do? How do we reward her? We gave her her own book. She had her own talk show at one point in time. She went on every other talk show that you can think of talking about the incident. But, she didn't get dragged through the mud. Who else? Heidi Fleiss. Remember her, the prostitute with the book? She got all that publicity. I ain't going to go too hard on Heidi Fleiss because I think some of that was like survival. Like, she had to come out in public because, she had some pretty powerful people in that little black book. And they wanted to do something to her. So she but what I'm saying is there's people that's done way worse stuff outside of our culture than what she did. That should not be famous, shouldn't be applauded, shouldn't be celebrated. Shouldn't be like thinking it's no type of cute or funny with the stuff that they've done. But everybody, we're sitting online roasting her, raking her through the coals, stomping her, kicking her while she's down. Like, yeah, she told a darn lie, but like America, this country, like how hypocritical are we with this country? All America's done to everybody. So to have somebody misguided, because that's what we do on this internet, how we use our power. We sit up here and reward people that don't deserve to be rewarded for engaging in foolishness. So when she did that, that was her way out of this systemic oppression. I'm going to get out this ghetto. I'm going to finesse this little, in her mind, she think I'm going to finesse this abduction. I'm going to go on all these talk shows. They're going to slide me a bag. And the whole time, ain't nobody did nothing to me. That was her mental mind state with that. Had to be. I don't believe she had no mental health issues other than the fact, she wanted to finesse for a bag. And kind of that's what everybody on the internet does. That's the era that we're living in. We're living in this digital world, this digital era where people get online and finesse and embellish or just straight up lie and get rewarded for it. They get slid a bag. You got people on the internet doing all kinds of goofy, stupid stuff getting paid. Got people sitting up here eating cat food and dog food and checking a bag for it. Got people sitting up there eating like the hottest peppers in the world. Remember the Pocky Challenge? People doing that. People, what was the other challenge when there was lighting themselves on fire? But y'all want to come down on her for a ton of bricks and say she's the biggest liar in America ever. She's the most horrible human being ever. Nah, we're not doing that. She did something silly. I would say reprehensible. I will say reprehensible. It was selfish. Because there really are females that have been abducted and are being human trafficked right now as we speak. So she's robbed them of the spotlight with that action, but it's not the worst thing ever. So we're not going to do that to her. We're not going to say she's the worst person in the world ever. When there's so many people that done outside of our culture, outside of our race, that's done so much worse stuff than that has misutilized the media for personal gain and gotten away with it. But through all this, I believe she's going to get away with it too. I don't believe the jail sentence is coming. If it is, there's a bag in it somewhere. Because in this society we live in, we want to know why she did it. The whole world wants to know why she did it. So, she's going to get a manager, an agent. Tell all books coming. She's probably going to be on the Breakfast Club at some point, either in person or via live stream. At some point, probably like next year, she will either have her own talk show or she'll be on a panel of an already successful daytime talk show. Because we've seen it so many times. We've seen this movie too many times to know like how that's going to pan out. But yeah, we're not doing it. I'm not going to let people do it here on Narrative Podcast. Say she's the worst person ever for perpetrating a fraud. So she did something silly. She did something that was selfish and silly and got all of us looking kind of crazy as a people. But, she's not the worst. Like, within our own culture, like, come on, Jussie Smollett, he actually paid people to act out his fantasy, like, oh yeah, beat me up, and but she ain't the worst one ever. And just a sidebar, we don't know if she's lying about lying. The powers of the be might have put some pressure on her and just go ahead and say you're lying or else. For all we know as a people, we don't know. We know what they show us. And what do they show us? That's the whole purpose of my podcast. They're always showing us something negative. They're always feeding us and giving us negative frames of reference about our people and our culture. Always. Never nothing positive. What else? I think that's all I want to make the point about our sister Carlee Russell, whatever her name is, the sister that didn't tell the truth. But like I said, I try not to bash people and talk about people and drag people through the mud. I do have a sense of humor, but this ain't funny, and maybe she'll get the help she needs. She definitely got to eat it. Whether it's true, whether it's not true, she got to eat that. So my next point I'm coming to, that just recently happened. Our sister, Jess Hilarious, the comedian. Might remember her. She started out on the internet, roasting people, making fun of people, doing them little, like, I don't think TikTok was around. What was it, like Instagram? I don't know. But she used to roast people. That's how she got her little rise of fame. and then got on wilding out, and in between has been done television and stand up, and she's also gotten in trouble before on social media for saying certain things, offending certain groups of people. And she's back in the media for offending a group of people. Now, the first time she ever got in big trouble, she was doing the skit. She's a comedian. She thought it would be funny to say something about people of Eastern Indian descent. She's on the plane. It's like, oh, they're going to hijack the plane. I'm scared, y'all. I'm scared. But she had to apologize. The powers that be made her apologize. It was just a joke. She wasn't really serious, but they made her apologize for it profusely at that. But every time somebody offends our people, they never made to apologize. Ever. And when they are made to apologize, it's never sincere. But anyway, so now she's in here hot water because she said, I don't got the direct quote. She basically just said, when is somebody going to stand up for biological women that were born with, all female parts that can menstruate and bleed every month and deliver life into, the world. Well, somebody in the Elemental P community, and I call it the Elemental P because you can't say all of them letters without offending somebody, but I will say there's two versions of the Elemental P community. It's the white version that walks around canceling everybody, using that Elemental P pass to cancel people and get angry when people say something about the Elemental P community. Every time somebody says anything about them, they're canceling people, And then there's people in our community that are in the Elemental P community. They don't be tripping. They don't be worried about nothing. Their only thing is just don't touch me. That's their thing. Like, don't touch them, you're good. They can take getting called names. They can take being ostracized. They can take persecution, but they draw the line when you try to put your hands on them. So that's people from our community in that community, that they don't be tripping about words and people saying stuff online. But before I take another dive in, just putting out this little nugget, all trans men aren't homosexual and all trans females aren't lesbian. So that's a true nugget. But more to her point, she stated the actual, factual, scientific fact: men cannot bleed, men cannot, deliver life into this world, and we can't. But somebody in that Elemental P community did a clapback video and said, you can't be the gatekeeper of the menstrual flow. It's not just yours. How? How is it not just the women's? A man would never, and be grateful that you can't bleed. Be grateful. That's a woman's problem. All the problems men have, that's the last thing we would want as a problem. Or better yet, be careful what you ask for. You might just get it. With all these medicines and stuff that they're having, you might just get to know what having menstrual cramps feels like pretty soon. All the stuff they're putting in food. There's already dudes out here growing breasts just from eating Popeye's chicken sandwiches. You might just get it and know the hell of a menstrual cramp and the embarrassment of a blood stain in the seat. We don't want that problem. Don't talk problems up. You really want that problem? You really want to have a menstrual? You really want to have a period, bro? Like for real? You really want to be leaking blood? Let them have that. They got that. You're dressed like a woman. Like, be happy with that. Like, I don't get it. Nobody's judging you. Nobody's judging you for dressing like a woman. Everybody got a right to live their own life. You can put on whatever outfit and colors you want to and wear your little high heels and all like you know, just like a woman, but you know, you're never going to bleed, you're never going to give vaginal birth because you're lacking the one thing, you know, that produces both of those. A vagina. You don't have one. And even if you cut it off and make one, you still can't do it. So I don't know what that's another thing, how sick this world done got. People get mad for telling the truth. It's the truth. How are you going to get mad at the truth? Men can't bleed, men can't have babies. Why you get mad at the truth? She might have, don't nobody give a damn about your feelings. The truth is the truth. Like you think just because your feelings is hurt, the truth is going to stop being true? Because somebody said something that you found offensive, that's not going to be true? And before anybody says race usually ain't true in terms of our people. They got a history of lying about us, and we got receipts to prove they lying. But anyway, yeah, sis told the truth, man. Truth's the truth. I stand up for her. She wants to know who's standing up for her, standing up for the real women, Halsey Allen, Narrative Podcast. I'm standing up for her. The truth is the damn truth. Like, knock it off. Like, men can't bleed, men can't have babies, period. She told the truth on that one. How are you going to get mad about the truth? So I think the gentleman said, or the Brista, or whatever the pronoun that they like to be referred to, said women can't be the gatekeepers of a period. What? They can have the period. Let them have the period, bro. Yeah, they got that. They got that in the bag. They can have it. That's an added expense. You got to buy all the sanitation equipment, the pads, and then the stuff to make it smell fresh while they're on the period. Nah, they can have that. I don't know. I think we also living in the era where people just like generally complaining about stuff. Like people get online and be complaining about stuff just to be complaining about stuff. Well, that's all I want to say about that particular topic. And on to my very last point of the day, which is something cool, something fun, something I haven't done in quite a while. This is a movie review. And the movie that I watched was They Cloned Tyrone. And it's one of them movies that just leaves you in total awe. They did it pure genius from start to finish. I would expect nothing less than anything short of amazing coming from Jamie Foxx, coming from John Boyega. I'm not too familiar with Tiana Paris, but she killed it. Had a legendary, iconic actor in the 80s. If you were Gen Xer, had Kiefer Sutherland. You know, he was Lost Boys and what else was he in? Super dope. Stand By Me. But he been in a whole lot of other films too in the 80s. I think he was on a TV show too, like on Fox. I don't remember. It was a while ago. Um, I'm sorry, I got lost in thought. Got distracted with something. But yeah. So the movie was nothing shy of brilliance. This is one of the first few times that I've done a movie review where I actually have nothing but positive things to say. You know, it was just totally genius. I usually hate movies where they have more than one issue, where they try to solve, like, it seems like all the relevant issues we have in our community about our people and our cultures. But the way how they presented it, it worked. It worked. You know, they shot all their ducks in a row. They addressed everything. It didn't come off preachy. It didn't come off buffoonish. Just right. It was that bowl of porridge. It was just right. I loved it. And I haven't seen nothing really kind of in the last decade that didn't intellectually insult me, spiritually insult me, or just had me feeling like, now what the hell is this? When they you know, made a movie about our people and our culture. So like, they're few and far in between. So like when, you know, of course when Jordan Peele films came out, he kind of set the bar for what it was, Get Out and Us. I think that was the other movie, Us. Let me look it up. Yeah. So Get Out and Us, those was some of the exceptions, but a whole lot of things coming in cinema just been like, what the hell? And this ain't a diss or a knock to anybody that's, you know, independent filmmaker in our community, but like a lot of films have been missing the mark, you know, on the portrayal of our people. But this was a banger. This was like, you know, it's so not conspiracy theory related. This is what them folks is actually doing to us. This is the movie to confirm to you that you're not crazy, that you're not going out of your gourd. This is them insurrecting their revenge against us. Like this is the whole plot. It ain't no agenda. It ain't, you know what I'm saying? This is what these people, these folks is actually doing in Hollywood. Like this, the gatekeepers. This is all that explained in this movie. Because we know they're putting stuff in our food. The very air we breathe, our water, all that's explained in this movie. They literally had scenes depicting it. So first of all, John Boyega, he's an amazing actor, delivered. I don't know how these British guys be pulling off American accents and killed it. He had a southern accent. I believe his character is supposed to be from Atlanta. Killed it. Can't tell me he wasn't from down south. Jamie Foxx, like, what can you say? Like, wow. Haven't seen, I can't really say I've seen Tiana Paris and a whole lot of stuff, but she killed it. Now, when it first started off, I was apprehensive. I'm like, okay, a drug dealer, a pimp, and a whore. Those are the leads. A prostitute, excuse me. Those are the leads. These are the heroes of the movie. I'm like, no. But then when the movie progresses, then you see, you know, the integral role that they play in the movies. And then it kind of makes you re-examine how we treat people like that in our community. We look at them as like lower forms of life. We don't think they have nothing to teach us. We don't think they have nothing to show us. You know, and then another interesting thing in the movie is one of the wisest, smartest people in the movie was the bum in the corner store. We all got one in the neighborhood. The neighborhood drunk or the neighborhood crackhead or the substance abuser, the heroin, whatever they're, you know, addicted to, the neighborhood addict. But smartest person in the movie, the wisest person, that was the oracle in the movie where they was getting the knowledge from. From this person that appears to have lost their way, but in reality, this person is pointing the way. And, you know, we tend to, as a society, walk over people like that and look down our noses at people like that. But those people like that end up being the smartest ones. And I'm going to interject, I'm going to kind of go on a rabbit hole like everybody like poking fun at Bobby Brown, at Whitney Houston, rest her soul, at DMX, because Bobby Brown's still alive, but, you know, that particular drug is not an introverted drug. You can't do that all by yourself. So what I'm saying is, if DMX was smoking crack, Bobby Brown's alive, he's still getting high. Whitney used to smoke crack. There's a whole bunch of crackheads in Hollywood. I'm sorry. They're probably your favorite rappers, actors, actresses, because they wasn't doing it all by themselves. They wasn't. People in the entourage, I know they wasn't. Not hell no. I ain't never known an introverted crackhead in my life. That's a networking drug. It takes more than one person to pull it off. But in perspective to the movie, we kind of like walk over people like that and act like they don't have anything to share or we can get from them other than just like, you, get away from me. You know what I'm saying? But they end up being the smartest people. And more to the point, like a whole lot of our revolutionaries, people in our freedom movement armies lost their way due to dealing with drugs. Like the late Miss Afeni Shakur. Like Tupac even chronicled that in his music. Even as a crack fiend mama, you always was a black queen mama. But she put in work in the revolution. Taught him to be the man he became. So you can't discredit people just because they're addicted to drugs or addicted to alcohol or addicted to whatever, when in reality, it's because of systemic oppression, because like they're bombarded with all these negative images that they start self-medicating because they can't handle it. And a whole lot of our people that were, ex-Black Panthers ended up succumbing to drugs and dying. But yeah, the movie is just, it was genius. It was written and directed by Joel Taylor. Gave us Space Jams and Creed. So I pray he gives us some more movies, because he knocked it out of the park with this. This is one of them movies that just gets all the gears turning, opens your eyes and makes you see stuff for what it is. This is what these filthy beasts are doing to us. These are what these demonic creatures are doing to our people. Like it was chronicled in the movie. It was so surreal. Like the way they set it up, they tried to make it seem like there was sensationalizing it. But no, this is one of these movies where, it's supposed to appear to be sensationalized, but it's actually telling the truth. Like this is what they're doing to us. This is like, you're wondering what's wrong with our community. Watch that movie and you will see. They literally had scenes where they was putting stuff in food to administer mind control. Everyday products at one point in time. They kidnapped Tiana Paris's character, and they put chemical relaxer in her hair to administer a form of mind control. Her character was wearing her hair natural and was proud of her natural hair, even though she was a street walker. And they kidnapped her and they put, they straightened her hair. They put the chemical relaxer in to program and condition her mind. I gotta give away a spoiler alert, the end of the movie. Towards the end of the movie, somewhere in the middle, the characters' goal was to go to Memphis. Now, what is the significance of Memphis? This planet has changed 4 or 5 times throughout, its existence. Like what I'm saying is like Egypt, originally called Kemet, but most of it was here in the Americas, and there's all kinds of proof that it was here first. We got pyramids in Illinois, got pyramids in Memphis. And what do these pyramids do? They give off kinetic energy. So when you watch this movie, you'll kind of, the little yarn will start unraveling, the little light is like, oh, Oh, um, another interesting thing they touched on in the movie was how they're manipulating and controlling our minds with the music. You know, everybody looked at Brother Ye when he was talking about the 808 beat, the one beat. Everything's in the one beat. Everything's in the one beat. The one beat goes straight to the subconscious, positive and negative. That one beat. Like, you know how many babies conceived to R&B, people lost their virginity to a song, and it does something, it sparks a memory, it evokes an emotion. They exhibited and displayed that in the movie. Literally, music, the one beat. Positive and negative. Church. Jesus loves me. Yes, I know. For the Bible tells us so. One beat. Positive. Embedded in your mind. Embedded into your subconscious. Okay, now here's a negative one. Hail Mary, Hail Mary, make a run quick, see. What do we have here now? Do you want to die? Da 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 da. One beat. And no disrespect to Tupac Shakur, because he did a lot of positive songs too. But that one beat, with that negativity, and talking about dying and killing, embedded in you, embedded into your subconscious. So yeah, I had a scene where there was putting stuff in the food. There was at a fast food restaurant. They was eating some fried chicken, and like the whole restaurant was acting goofy, killing us with the food. They put that in that movie. Like how many ingredients in the them Popeyes chicken sandwiches in Chick-fil-A? Huh? If it's even real chicken. McDonald's, McDevils, Burger King. Huh? Yeah. And then there was a whole lot of talk around, you know, the filming of the movie, because you also know Jamie Foxx was executive producer, and he went through his little, medical debacle. That was my conspiracy theory music. But no, I'm not going to profess to say that's why he went through what he went through, but you know, Hollywood is weird, and there's some weirdos in there. Point I'm trying to make is they manipulate and control our minds. Like remote viewing is real. These people can see what's going on inside your house, inside walls by accessing like portions of their brain to remotely view you. This is why I always talk about meditation on my platform. You got to constantly keep on conditioning your mind. To build up your mental defenses. Because there's demonic forces at work. And that movie exposes all of them. The thing I loved about, you know, this movie is that it took characters that we view as socially despot They all banded together for one common cause, like, you know, people who we deem in our society as degenerates. So a drug dealer, a pimp, and a lady of the night came together to save everybody. So that's epic and monumental within itself. Because it don't matter where the message comes from as long as you get the message. Jesus, Allah, who cares? Save me. Source, vibrational frequency, whatever you call yourself believing in. But yeah, it's so deep and so complex on so many different levels. Um, this is one of the first times in a long time that I watched the movie, and I just wasn't absolutely disgusted about the depiction of our people. It's a real eye opener to what's going on in the world, what this government is doing to our people. So it's not inherent like conspiracy theories, like real. It's like they made it seem comedic and entertaining, but then it's also, these is like actual practices that them folks use on us to break down our resistance, to desensitize us to certain things, to manipulate our emotions. To make it seem like we're crazy or we're making excuses for ourselves when it's really just them pulling strings from behind the curtain. Some other things I think was a noteworthy performance. David Allen Greer, he did his thing as the pastor in that instance when they inserted religion. The director was showcasing and highlighting how they use religion to, mind control us. Christianity especially. But this is one of them movies, the first time you watch it, just watch with an open mind. Second time you watch it, get your pen and pad ready and take notes, dissect it like I did, and I'm going to go back and I'm going to dissect it again. This is definitely one for the books. I was not mad that I watched it. I highly, highly recommend you watch it. Get what all you can get out of it. But it's real. This is one of them movies where the horn sounded, like the trumpet sounded in this movie. Like it's real in the field, it's playtime's over. Now, it did give me some vibes. I got little School Days. I was getting some School Days vibes. Like at the end of School Days when Lawrence Fishburne's character was like, wake up. There's a wake up moment in that movie. John Boyega's character realizes he's a clone. And it was showing clones all around the world. I don't feel that's a spoiler alert because the movie's literally called They Clone Tyrone. So, John Boyega's character, you realized that he was a clone. So that was the wake up moment. What else was I getting? Yeah, I got some School Days vibes. Another movie I was kind of, thinking about, kind of a politically conscious movie. It was a whole lot I was getting when I was watching that movie, but you know, it had its own identity. Um, Something else important. I was about to say, it's just dope. The movie is dope, man. They did their thing, bruh. Can't even stunt. Epic performance. The comedic timing was there. It's entertaining. Oh yeah, I was getting some Queen and I was getting some Hustle and Flow vibes and in certain parts of the movie. I was getting some Queen and Slim vibes in the movie. Like Jamie Foxx's character, and Tiana Paris's character, their chemistry they had. It's kind of like love. It didn't really happen, but it was kind of implied that it was going to happen eventually. Um, Shoot, the movie was just good, bro. It was just good. It was top tier. It was like really good. I haven't seen a really good movie depicting our people and our culture in a while. And this just like really blew the lid off, left me damn near speechless. I was like, whoa. You're going to be like, whoa, after you watch it. I mean, everybody likes what they like, but I wasn't mad at it, man. I'm usually like really for the last decade, I've been really mad at Hollywood and filmmakers about how they've been portraying this in movies. But not too mad at this. Oh yeah, there was some pop culture references in the movie, some Easter eggs. Hollow Man, there was a Hollow Man reference in there. So if you haven't seen Hollow Man, you might want to watch the movie Hollow Man before you watch that movie, because that explained a whole lot of stuff too. And then they had a Nancy Drew reference. As Gen Xers, we know who Nancy Drew is. We kind of grew up on them books. So you might want to like go online and read a Nancy Drew novel right quick, because that was referenced throughout the movie too. It was more a reference to Tiana Paris's characters, uh, detective skills and cognitive skills. Because even though she was a streetwalker, she was very perceptive. Like she was quote unquote woke. She was like a woke streetwalker. Like, you know, couldn't pull one over on her. She knew what the plot was before the plot all the way unfolded from books she reads, and a whole lot, and more to that point, a whole lot of streetwalkers are like really astute, because you know, pimping kind of gets demonized through the media. You know, people like hitting a woman and keeping a woman under control, but a lot of women that are streetwalkers, they end up going on to corporate America, to these Fortune 5